Okay, so the rest of the assignment basically has to do with this situation. So why do men and women play sports? Now this has to do with social comparison, meaning are they better than the person next to them, I guess. And so this would be high social comparison. And then this M stands for mastery. They just want to get better at that sport. So high mastery, high social comparison, low mastery, and so on and so forth. So they interview these people, and so out of all these females, 14 of them fit this category: high social comparison and high mastery. That's the reason that they want to play this sport. So anyway, I'm going to try to do this thing and not make a mess of it. Now we're going to do the chi-square test, and let's do this. I guess like this, right? Give myself some room, because we should start out with, we're going to need the totals. So that's going to come in handy. So let me do that. So one of the first things they ask you to do is make a graph. So we take 14 divided by 67 and find that percentage. 7 divided by 67, 21 divided by 67, 25 divided by 67, and make a bar graph for each one of these categories. So see what the percentage is and put them side by side. Then do the same thing with the males, 31 divided by 67, and so on and so forth. And you make another bar graph. Put them side by side and see what they look like. Okay, I'm not going to do that for you. You're going to do that. Okay, now what is the null and alternative hypothesis? Let's take a look. So the null hypothesis, if we think of these as goals, our sports goals, there is no difference in the sports goals for male and female. In other words, we should see the same numbers here and here for male and female, especially since we have the same number of people that we observed. But I'm just looking, this looks different than that, and that one is lower than that one. So anyway, just kind of looking at the numbers. Now, that would be for the null and alternative hypothesis. No difference in sports goals for male and women versus yes, there is. Okay, let's do the number part. So do you remember? Let's see. Let's try for right here, this 14. This was the observed. What should be the expected? How do we get that? So we're going to take like this, and like this, and like this, and we're going to get a number. So it's 45 times 67, and we're going to divide that by 134. That's how we get that number. And that number should be 22.5. 22.5. Okay. Let's try another one. How about this one? What should we have seen? So it's going to be this number, and this number. We make a little square. That's the way I remember it. So it's 26 times 67 divided by 134. The row total times the column total divided by the table total. So let's see what that is. And the answer is 13. So these are the expected numbers. Remember, this is what we observed, and based on all of these numbers here, this is what it should be. Let's do one more. How about this 25 down here? Let me change the color. So it's going to be 38 and 67 and 134 gives us that number that needs to go right by the 25. And that number is 19. So, you could do all these if you wanted to. Let's see. And then if you read the question, remember it's random, normal, and independent. And the random and the normal are the same. Ooh, look at this. So this was pretty close right here. You have to have at least 5 in each of those categories for it to be normal. Now, let's see. And we're going to do an alpha level of 0.05. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put this into the calculator. So in the calculator, I am going to first make a matrix. So second, and find matrix in blue. It's over on the left. And we're going to arrow over to where it says edit and press enter. Now we need to put it in by row by columns. So this has 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and 2 columns. So I put 4 times 2. Okay, and it's all zeros. There, and it looks just like it. There's 8 zeros there. I'm going to replace them with these numbers. So I'm going to do that right now in the calculator. So remember, second matrix, edit, and it's going to be 4 by 2, and then put the numbers in. So the matrix is 4 by 2. 4 by 2. So how do we figure out the degrees of freedom? We subtract 1 from each of those. So it's going to be 3 times 1. So our degrees of freedom is going, degrees of freedom is going to be 3 when we do the test. So we're going to go to stat, over to test, and we're going to find all the way down, where is it? The chi-square test. There it is. Observed is A. They're going to do B for us. We're going to calculate it. And we get the chi-squared number that they give us from the calculator is going to be 24.89. 24.89. Okay. And they give us our p-value. P-value, don't get fooled by this thing. The p-value is 1.62, but it's e to the negative 5, which means 0.000162. That's the number. Very, very small. So we are going to reject the null hypothesis and say that, what was it again? Oh yeah, there is a difference in sports goals between men and women. That's what we're going to say. And I might have needed to show some work. So don't forget, it's the observed, just like before, the observed minus the expected, right, squared divided by the expected. So you could show a couple of those using those numbers that we figured out. Okay, so I think I gave you a lot of stuff to do the homework. I think there's a bunch of stuff in there. I just didn't want to take the time to do every single question because I think you guys can do that. Yes? Yes! Okay.